Brady Williams and his 5 wives and 24 children are letting in the cameras in ways you've never seen before.
There is no way the 5 women sitting here are equal to the 1 man of this house.
Families come from different nativities and have different traditions, but some are stranger than others and completely defy expectations.
He has a reputation of a playboy. He last made headlines when he went into isolation in a luxury hotel in Germany with his 20 mistresses.
Imagine a household with 39 wives and 94 children, or a family where all members grow their hair to extraordinary lengths. From the fascinating to the downright shocking, you won't believe what these families are like. What drives these unique family choices? How do they navigate daily life? Join us as we explore the 15 most unusual families in the world, revealing the stories behind their extraordinary lifestyles. The incest family. In most parts of the world, incest is not only frowned upon but also considered illegal. Yet one family in Australia has boldly embraced their controversial relationship, shocking everyone with their story. John Dees and his daughter Jenny made headlines after admitting they were not just father and daughter, but also a romantic couple. This all began over 40 years ago when John was married to Jenny's mother, who left him while he was in prison for armed robbery. Years later, when Jenny was already married with 2 children, she reunited with her father. What started as a simple meeting turned into something shocking. Just 2 weeks later, they began a romantic relationship.
South Australian police are monitoring a father and daughter who've revealed they are a couple and have a child together. John and Jenny Deeves were reunited 30 years after Mr Deeves separated from Jenny's mother. They told 60 Minutes they fell in love and now have a daughter together. The couple said they knew it was wrong, but emotions took over.
Jenny claimed they felt an instant attraction, and for her, it was like dating any other man. Their controversial relationship led to public outrage and legal action. The pair faced court, were arrested, and eventually given a 3-year good behavior bond. But despite this, they continued to defend their bond, refusing to let public judgment tear them apart. But this is just the beginning. If you think this is too absurd, then get ready for a rude shock when you see the next one. The unique Chauhan family. Next is the Chauhan family from Hyderabad, India, known for their rare condition, with almost all of its members having achondroplasia, a type of dwarfism. This condition, caused by a genetic mutation that affects bone growth, results in shorter limbs and other physical features. It's a rare condition, affecting about 1 in 25,000 people, and it's unusual for so many members of one family to have it. Despite their challenges, the Chauhan family lives a full and active life. The parents work to support the family, and the children go to school and engage in extracurricular activities. Their story reminds us that despite physical differences, families can overcome obstacles and lead normal lives filled with love and purpose. A king with 100 wives. Polygamy often brings to mind men with a few wives, maybe 2, 5, or even 10. But King Abumbi II of Bafut, Cameroon, has taken this tradition to an entirely different level with 100 wives and over 500 children. This unique situation stems from an old Cameroonian custom where a king inherits his predecessor's wives. So when Abumbi's father passed away in 1968, he not only became the ruler, but also inherited his father's 72 wives, adding to his 28. In rural Cameroon, polygamy is legal and deeply rooted in tradition. The older wives play a key role. They teach the younger wives and the new king about palace customs and cultural values. While modern times question these traditions, Abumbi sees it as his duty to preserve his people's heritage. Despite the size of his family, the king claims to cherish each wife, but one can't help but wonder, can he remember all 100 of their names? Now, we don't know if you actually find this funny or disturbing. Manarung family. On our list is also the Manarung family from Indonesia, who has a rare condition that causes their faces to change shape over time. This unusual condition is linked to problems in bone and muscle development, making their facial features shift. Members of the family have distinct features, like large foreheads and wide-set eyes. It is believed their condition is connected to a disorder called ectodermal dysplasia, though the exact details are unclear. The family has gained attention in the media because of their unique appearance. Treatments for this disorder may include dental implants, skin grafts, and surgeries, but it is unknown if the Manarung family has undergone these procedures or if they have had any effect. Born without arms. Have you ever thought of what it would be like, living without arms? Imagine doing everything from brushing your teeth to creating art with only your feet. For Linda Bannon and her son Timmy, this is their everyday life. Both were born with Holt-Oram syndrome, a rare genetic condition that causes abnormalities in the heart and upper limbs. Linda's parents raised her like her 4 siblings, encouraging her to participate in chores and family activities. This taught Linda to adapt, using her feet for tasks most people do with their hands. Despite her challenges, Linda's determination helped her thrive. She got married in 2004, and during her pregnancy, doctors informed her that her child would also be born without arms. In 2005, Timmy was born, and Linda poured her energy into teaching him to navigate life like she had, with his feet. Today, Timmy has mastered incredible skills, from brushing his teeth to making art. Their inspiring bond and resilience show that with determination, nothing is impossible, even without arms. That was quite touching. Now let's see how emotional the next one would be. The hairiest family. Think of being covered in hair from head to toe, as if every inch of your body refuses to stay smooth. Manuel Fajardo and his family, known as the hairiest family in the world, live with this reality every day. They suffer from a rare condition called hypertrichosis, which causes excessive hair growth across the body. This condition, which has been present in their family for at least 4 generations, is extremely rare, with fewer than 100 people worldwide affected. Hypertrichosis can be either generalized, affecting the entire body, or localized, where only specific areas grow excessive hair. The Fajardo family experiences the generalized form, making their condition even rarer. Scientists believe the disorder is inherited through an autosomal dominant gene, meaning only one parent needs to pass it on for it to appear. Despite the challenges, this unique family has gained media attention and even holds a Guinness World Record for having the most family members affected. The family that never leaves. John Joe Gray and his family hold the record for the longest police standoff in U.S. history, lasting nearly 15 years. It all began in 1999 when police stopped John for speeding in Texas. During the stop, officers discovered firearms and explosives in his vehicle. When an officer tried to seize a weapon, John reportedly assaulted him, resulting in charges of assaulting a public official and stealing a weapon. After being released on bond, John refused to return to court. Instead, he moved his entire family to a 50-acre ranch in Trinidad, Texas. Living without electricity or running water, they built a secluded life, training themselves to defend their land. The family issued chilling warnings to authorities, even instructing them to bring body bags if they dared to come. Over the years, births on the ranch went undocumented, and the family remained armed and defiant. Sounds like straight out of a James Bond movie, right? That's the same thing we thought when we first saw it. The Blue Fugits. Deep in the hills of eastern Kentucky, there was a family unlike any other, the Fugit family, often referred to as the Blue Fugits. They became known for their unusual blue-tinted skin, caused by a rare genetic condition called methemoglobinemia. This condition occurs due to a genetic mutation that affects hemoglobin, the molecule responsible for carrying oxygen in the blood. With less oxygen circulating, their skin, particularly on their lips and limbs, took on a striking blue hue. Living in a remote area, the Fugits gained local fame for their unique appearance, which became a part of Appalachian folklore. While methemoglobinemia is extremely rare, it has been documented in other cases worldwide, sometimes caused by exposure to certain chemicals or drugs. But for the Fugits, the condition was passed down through generations due to their isolated community and genetic inheritance. Red and white family. There's a man in India whose life is a tribute to 2 colors, red and white. Meet Sevanraj, a man so dedicated to his unique color scheme that it touches every part of his existence. From his wardrobe to his house, cars, and even furniture, everything he owns is a mix of red and white. Born into a tradition of wearing all white, Sevanraj's obsession began at 18 when he added a red tie to his outfit. The attention and admiration he received sparked a lifelong commitment to these colors. Now, his home is filled with red and white decor, including dishes and even the toilet seat. He owns 30 red and white ties, 15 coats, and countless red and white shirts, pants, and shoes. His wife, Pushpa, joined his passion after they married over 20 years ago, and their children have only ever worn red and white. To top it off, Sevanraj also has an obsession with the number 7. Named after being his father's 7th child, the number 7 is everywhere in his life, from his license plate to the fact that he speaks 7 languages, making his life quite a fairy tale. Lykov family. In the vast Siberian wilderness, the Lykov family lived an unimaginable life of isolation for over 40 years. Their story is one of survival, faith, and resilience. In the 1930s, Karp Lykov and his wife Akulina, along with their 4 children, Savin, Dmitry, Natalia, and Agafia, fled deep into the forest. Their reasons were rooted in their distrust of the Soviet government and their strong Christian beliefs. Seeking freedom, they built a secluded life far from civilization, in the harsh wilderness inhabited by Siberian tigers. Without electricity, modern tools, or outside help, they adapted to their environment. They grew vegetables, hunted wild animals, and fished in nearby rivers. They crafted clothes from animal skins and even made musical instruments for entertainment. Amazingly, the family had no idea World War II had happened. It wasn't until they found an old radio, long after Karp's death, that they heard about the war, marking their first connection with the outside world in decades. Blood-sucking couple. This is Count Tim and Sest Leah, a couple who openly embrace their vampire lifestyle. They are known for consuming each other's blood using sharp fangs made of dental acrylic. This isn't just a quirky hobby, it's a lifestyle for them. They first met at a vampire carnival in Austin, where Tim was reading tarot cards, and soon after, they bonded over their shared love for vampirism. Their relationship revolves around daily blood rituals, where they use razors to cut each other's skin or drink blood directly from each other's wounds. They even incorporated their vampire lifestyle into their wedding, making sure everything reflected their unique identity. Though they acknowledge the risks of their actions, like possible blood diseases such as hepatitis and HIV, they regularly check their health. Despite the dangers, Tim and Leah have found a deep connection through their unconventional and risky practice of blood consumption. But hold on, because the next unusual family is even more shocking. Tattoo family. Meet the Tattoo family, a group that's been the subject of much gossip and judgment due to their unique appearance. Jessica Ferreira and her partner Victor are covered in tattoos from head to toe. Some people find their looks strange or off-putting, but the couple doesn't mind the criticism. They both share a love for body art, and this passion extends to their son, Nicholas. But despite the tattoos all over his parents' bodies, Nicholas hasn't altered his appearance. In fact, Jessica and Victor are good, loving parents who support their son's choices and want him to wait until he's older before getting tattoos. Victor's body art journey began with self-inflicted alterations, and now 70% of his body is covered in tattoos. His extreme modifications include cutting his tongue in half, stretching his nose, and even tattooing his eyeballs. While his family may not always understand, Victor remains dedicated to his passion, and even plans to continue his body transformations in the future. Most exhausted mother in the world. Valentina Vasilyeva is often referred to as the most exhausted mother in history, and her story is nothing short of extraordinary. This Russian woman, who lived in Shuya during the late 18th and early 19th centuries, is said to have given birth to a staggering 67 children. Her children included 16 pairs of twins, 7 sets of triplets, and 4 sets of quadruplets. Valentina's husband, a strong and healthy blacksmith, may have passed on genetics that contributed to such an unusually large family. Living in poverty, the family likely depended on their small community for support, as raising so many children would have been overwhelming. Despite the harsh living conditions of the time and high infant mortality rates in Russia, every one of Valentina's children reportedly survived infancy, a truly incredible feat. Some speculate that Valentina's goal was to ensure her family's name would endure through generations. But who knows what was going on in her mind while she was having such a number of kids? A family made from glass. Imagine living with bones so fragile that even a sneeze could break them. This is the reality for Ani, a young girl born with a rare condition called osteogenesis imperfecta, also known as brittle bone disease. Ani was placed in a children's home at just 2 years old due to her condition, but everything changed when she was adopted at 7 by Lisa Ferrero and Chris Lamero, a couple who also have OI. They had always dreamed of adopting a child with the disease, knowing they could offer the support and love needed to help her live a happy life despite her fragility. Today, Annie, Lisa, and Chris live together, using wheelchairs and assisted by service dogs that help with everyday tasks. Although living with OI is challenging, Ani speaks about how her family, both parents and grandparents, have been her constant support, making sure she feels loved and cared for every day. Family with 6 fingers and 6 toes. The D. Silva family is known for something unique. Every member has 6 fingers on each hand and 6 toes on each foot. While many might think having extra digits could be uncomfortable or awkward, this family has turned it into a talent. They are amazing musicians, and their extra fingers help them play instruments better than most. One family member also plays soccer as a goalie, and his 6 fingers give him a better grip on the ball, helping him perform at a higher level. Rather than seeing their extra digits as a curse, the D. Silva family embraces them as a special gift. They even hope future generations will inherit this unusual trait. Gary Hyming. Gary Hyming, an Australian bodybuilder born in 1956, dedicated much of his life to the pursuit of physical excellence. By 2009, at the age of 53, he had achieved the remarkable feat of competing in the International Federation of Bodybuilding and Fitness Championships in Victoria, Australia. This was a place where bodybuilders are supposed to be at their peak physical condition. However, tragically, during his performance that was supposed to be just another day of showcasing his hard work, Gary suffered a heart attack and collapsed on stage. Even with immediate CPR efforts by competition officials, he was pronounced dead upon arrival at the hospital. In a decision that sparked controversy, the competition proceeded as scheduled after his departure. Subsequent investigations revealed that Gary's heart attack was linked to the use of performance-enhancing substances like steroids, casting a somber shadow over the bodybuilding community and prompting a re-evaluation of the sport's health and safety standards. Gary might have died doing what he loved, but maybe he took it too far. Curt Hennig. Mr. Perfect, Curt Hennig was truly a generation-defining talent of his era. Throughout his career, he performed in several different roles and did extremely well in all of them. He is one of the greatest competitors in WWE history, and he has never held the WWE Championship. However, he excelled as WWE Intercontinental Champion and has helped to define the title as the workhorse title of WWE. In addition, he also competed in WCW, AWA, TNA, and more.
Would you think of going to the NWA TNA, which is Jarrett's baby?
You know what? I might just cancel out if WWE doesn't take me back in. Maybe I'm going to go cut a country album or something.
Born on March 28, 1958, into a wrestling family, his path seemed carved by fate. His father, Larry the Axe Hennig, was a wrestling legend, and Curt was determined to follow in his footsteps. From an early age, he displayed remarkable talent, charisma, and a drive that set him apart. Behind the polished image of Mr. Perfect was a man who paid a steep price for perfection. Wrestling's grueling schedule, coupled with the pressure to maintain a powerful physique, led Curt to rely on performance-enhancing drugs, including steroids. Injuries mounted over his career, and to manage the relentless pain, he turned to painkillers. This dangerous combination of substances slowly eroded his body and spirit. On February 10, 2003, at just 44 years old, Curt Hennig was found dead in a Florida hotel room. Acute cocaine intoxication was the official cause, with steroids and painkillers contributing. His legacy endures, but so does the tragedy of his untimely end. Mustafa Ismail. Moving on from the tragic tales of bodybuilders' deaths, we have Mustafa Ismail, once hailed for having the world's largest biceps. Originally from Egypt and later settling in the United States, Mustafa began bodybuilding in his teens. He dreamed of carving out a name for himself, not just in the gym but on the global stage. That dream seemingly came true when his biceps, measuring an astonishing 31 inches in circumference.
Mustafa Ismail from Egypt has just been awarded the Guinness World Record for the largest biceps, measuring in with a circumference of 25.5 inches.
Earned him a spot in the Guinness World Records. Ismail admits that he once relied on growth hormones and testosterone-boosting drugs early in his career, but he claims that his current physique is due to a diet that includes 3,000 grams of protein a day and his ability to curl 400 pounds and bench press 500 pounds. Yet, as the photos of his biceps circulated, the unnatural shape, lack of definition, and rigid appearance of his muscles led many in the fitness community to question his methods. Accusations of synthol abuse surfaced, and Mustafa's record was quietly removed from Guinness's website. Amid the controversy, he went to Japan to undergo testing and clear his name. The test included a full-body MRI scan and an ultrasound on his upper arms. After the tests, doctors reportedly found no signs of implants, drug use, or intravenous tampering, clearing Mo of any wrongdoing. Unfortunately, the report lacks any quotes from the doctors, photos of the scans, or even the name of the hospital where the evaluation took place. Beyond the record books, one can only wonder if the cost of chasing greatness was truly worth it. Greg Valentino. The world isn't fair, and Greg Valentino's story is a reminder of how far some will go to overcome their perceived shortcomings. Greg started bodybuilding in 1972, a young man with a passion for lifting and dreams of greatness. For over 25 years, he trained naturally, building an impressive physique. At his peak,
Greg is the opposite of an anorexic. He's what some people call bigorexic. And he was so compelled to get bigger and bigger that it nearly cost him his life.
His arms measured 21 inches, a massive achievement for a natural bodybuilder. But for Greg, it wasn't enough. Watching younger, less experienced lifters surpass him with the help of steroids, he fell into the trap of bigorexia, an insatiable, drug-fueled drive to grow as big as humanly possible. He turned to steroids and synthol injections, transforming his arms into grotesque, unnatural masses. His quest for size made him infamous, but it also made him a cautionary tale. The consequences of his choices were severe. Reusing a contaminated needle caused an abscess in his arm to rupture. His biceps swelled with blood and pus, forcing an emergency surgery to drain the infected tissue and synthol. Greg survived, but the damage to his body and reputation was done. Dean Warmby. While Greg Valentino was lucky enough to survive his ordeal, most who push their bodies to the brink aren't so fortunate. Dean Warmby, a bodybuilder from Rochdale, England, was one such tragic story. A dedicated personal trainer and father of one, Dean spent years chasing the ideal physique, consuming up to 10,000 calories a day, including junk food and 7 or 8 energy drinks daily. Early in his career, he turned to steroids to speed up his progress, a decision that would ultimately cost him dearly. In 2010, doctors found a large tumor on Dean's liver. Faced with the devastating diagnosis, he changed his lifestyle drastically, cutting out sugar, meat, and processed foods. Rejecting chemotherapy and radiation, Dean opted for natural treatments and supplements, hoping to heal himself. Even with his efforts, his condition worsened. In July 2015, at just 39 years old, Dean passed away in a hospice with his partner.
An update on a story I spoke about a few months ago about this gentleman who died in the UK from liver cancer.
Charlotte Rigby, by his side. Romario dos Santos Alves. When Romario dos Santos Alves told people he wanted the body of the Incredible Hulk, he wasn't kidding. A young man from Brazil, Romario started bodybuilding with dreams of achieving a physique that would turn heads. But as he chased size and strength, his obsession led him to a dangerous path: synthol injections. At first, the results were dramatic. Romario's arms swelled to 25 inches, earning him attention but also fear. Children would cry upon seeing him in the streets. What seemed like a shortcut to his dream physique quickly became a nightmare. The toxins in the injections caused severe physical and mental health problems. His muscles hardened into rock-like masses, and the pain became unbearable. Doctors eventually warned Romario that amputation might be the only way to save his life. Fortunately, surgeons were able to remove some of the solidified oil deposits without resorting to such drastic measures. Andreas Munzer. Born in Austria, Munzer entered the professional bodybuilding scene in 1989 and quickly gained fame for his ultra-shredded, almost translucent physique. By 1996, he had added 20 pounds of muscle to his already lean 200-pound frame.
Andreas Munzer weighs 234 pounds, he's 30 years old, he's 5'11" tall, and he has been training for 12 years.
Cementing his reputation as one of the most conditioned athletes in the sport. After competing in the San Jose Pro on March 9, 1996, Munzer returned to Munich, Germany, complaining of severe stomach pain. By March 12th, he was in the hospital, bleeding internally. Despite emergency surgery, his liver and kidneys had failed, and on March 14th, Munzer passed away at just 31 years old. The autopsy revealed numerous tumors in his liver, a heart twice the normal size, and organs ravaged by years of performance-enhancing drugs and diuretics. In an interview 2 weeks before his death, when asked about his plans, Munzer gave a haunting response. He said he has no real plans for his future, and he does not know what's coming. I guess he didn't know. The Chad brothers. Chad brothers' story is one of unfulfilled potential. Standing at 6 feet 1 inch and weighing 230 pounds, the 32-year-old bodybuilder seemed the embodiment of physical power. But on October 31st, 2011, his life came to a violent and heartbreaking end. That morning, Chad arrived at Gold's Gym in Latham, New York, before dawn for a workout. Witnesses described him as unusually aggressive and erratic. After falling off an elliptical machine, he flew into a rage, punching another gym-goer, overturning 700-pound weight machines, and destroying an office area. When police arrived, Chad's behavior escalated further. A female officer tased him, but Chad resisted, grabbing her weapon and continuing the struggle. It took several officers and gym members to subdue him. Moments later, he stopped breathing and was pronounced dead at the hospital shortly after. A search of his apartment revealed cocaine and steroids, and medical reports confirmed he was under the influence of these substances, which had triggered agitated delirium, a fatal condition caused by extreme stress on the body and mind. Dave A. Palumbo. There could be extreme stress on the mind and body from almost all forms of sports.
The truth is that, the structure that I have in my life and the way I always, envisioned what I wanted to achieve has not changed.
But it seems bodybuilders take it a notch higher, as you would see in Dave Palumbo's story. After excelling as a college long-distance runner, Dave began lifting weights at 22, initially just to look good at the beach. Little did he know that this casual hobby would lead to a lifelong pursuit of the ultimate bodybuilding physique. Over the next 14 years, Dave transformed into a mass of sculpted muscle, an achievement he credited to relentless training, and later, the use of performance-enhancing drugs and synthol. From his debut in 1990 at the NPC Nationals to winning the NPC Junior Nationals in 1995, Dave's focus remained steadfast.
I don't see how, if I weigh in at 258 pounds, that the least someone could be is the most someone could be is 58 pounds less than me at 198 pounds, and I don't see how they can give up that much muscle and still beat me.
Earning a coveted pro card. Despite his determination, he never reached that goal, often finishing as a runner-up, even after nearly a decade of trying. In candid admissions, Dave revealed his heavy use of synthol and Chris Clark products from 1998 to 2004, chasing size at the expense of his health. The toll was significant: elevated blood pressure, cardiovascular issues, and a near-fatal heart attack. Yet, even as his competitive dreams fell short, Dave found purpose in the fitness community. Now, with over 301,000 YouTube subscribers, Dave dedicates himself to sharing fitness knowledge and guidance, using his story to inspire and warn others about the risks of chasing extremes. Mike Matarazzo. Mike Matarazzo was more than a bodybuilder. He was a showman who brought joy to fans with his signature move, sticking his tongue out during a pose. It wasn't just the crowd that adored him. Mike seemed to love every moment of being on stage, pouring his energy into every flex and smile. Though he never claimed victory in any of his 31 pro shows, he was beloved for his authenticity and passion. His massive biceps and world-class calves were a sight to behold, but behind the stage lights was a man paying a heavy price for his craft. By his late 30s, Matarazzo's health began to crumble. Years of extreme dieting, steroid use, and relentless training took their toll. In 2004, he collapsed, coughing blood, and underwent triple bypass surgery at just 38. Reflecting on his choices, Mike admitted that everything that led to his heart problem began the minute he started competitive bodybuilding. He regretted the chemicals and the sacrifices that stole years from his life. Despite his efforts to warn others, Mike's health continued to decline. His heart, functioning at only 20 to 25%, finally gave out on August 16, 2014. We've come to the end of this video. Which one of these unusual families have you heard of before now? Share your thoughts with us in the comments section. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more. Also, click on the following video showing on your screen. You will enjoy it.